Hey there, and welcome to the Office of the IT Guy, the show where we celebrate the people and talk about the technology that's changing our world. I am your host, Eric the IT Guy Hendricks, and my mission here is to share a love for open source and help build a stronger community. I'm so thankful that you tuned in because the office is now open. Hey there, and welcome to the IT Guy Show. I'm your host, Eric the IT Guy Hendricks, and this is episode 5. We've already filled up an entire hand. I cannot believe how quickly the show has grown. I really appreciate all of you for supporting the show, for sharing with a friend. Really excited because we've got more episodes coming your way. I've got the next 4 or 5 already on the books. So stay tuned. We release every 2 weeks on YouTube or on your favorite podcast player. If there's a place you haven't been able to find the show, let me know. I'd be happy to make sure that we get a publishing link for that platform. All that said, excuse me, goodness, we are in the midst of summer, and I don't know. As you get older, things just stop working. My lungs just decided, you don't need to breathe. Anyway, all that said, I'm really excited. Today is episode 2 in our brief series of pre-recorded interviews from DevOpsDays Kansas City 2024. I had the honor of joining as a media sponsor. I had a few audio podcast interviews while I was on site. It tells me that I need to invest in a video camera to take with me to these events. So apologies again to our video viewers, but stay tuned because here in a couple of episodes, we've got more live interviews right here in the studio. So it'll be talking heads instead of pre-recorded audio. But today I am joined by Laura Santamaria. She is a developer advocate at Dell Technologies, and she has been absolutely everywhere, it seems. She's involved in just about everything. I got to meet her at DevOpsDays. She's just one of those people that just exudes energy, and you can tell she has a real passion for people. And so Laura and I sat down at DevOpsDays at the conference, and we talked a little bit about how especially myself as a systems administrator, my first thought is, we have a problem, let's add a tool. If you add a tool, you can fix a problem. Well, not always. There's so much more that goes into it, from culture to people, and how do you balance this processes versus tools versus people mentality. So without further ado, here is my interview with Laura Santamaria. All right, so I am joined with Laura. She and I met at DevOpsDays Kansas City here in 2024, and whatever year this is.
It is 2024. No, you are correct. I'm
Okay,
just
good.
having this moment.
So we got to talking after, I guess we'll call it a keynote.
It was first. Maybe not keynote, but it was first.
So we got talking, and I really enjoyed your energy and just the ideas and the thoughts you had behind DevOps and people. And I'll admit to being a long-time systems administrator, and concepts and anything that might seem marketing or salesy is just like, I need that.
Yeah.
But I read the Phoenix Project years ago and was sold on the idea of DevOps. So why don't we kind of dive into your experiences, Ben? Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Sure. So my name is Laura Santamaria, and I am a lead developer advocate at Dell Technologies. But I have been the co-core organizer for DevOpsDays Austin for the past few years. So the Austin version of the very conference we're talking about. And I have a very different background. I came to tech through science, and then research, and then education, and then technical writing, and then I came and became a developer and an operator both for a project at Rackspace. So I spent a lot of time working in that general area and moved into developer advocacy because everybody said that sounds like the right job. Making communities. And so my experience with DevOps first was this idea that I heard about it, and I went to first meetup as a developer and as someone running system Rackspace. And so I went, well, this makes sense. This is what everyone else is. Why doesn't it happen here? So I have a little bit of a different point, I think, than most people, just because having come from so many other industries, the idea that you're collaborating and that it's all about people is kind of built in. Right. Whereas in tech, we always want to play with the tools first. So I met a lot of the original people in the DevOps world, heard a lot of different things, and one of the really common is that the talk you're talking about was focused on is called people process over tools. And it's really the heart of what this is to me, because it's looking at how do we people problems, how do we have these concepts, break down the silos with the wall, all different things. And then we fix those people problems, it gets a lot to fix the process we have. And once process issues, no matter what tool we end up with, whether stuck with Jenkins, maybe you all like Jenkins, stuck with Hudson. Maybe you're stuck with Hudson, stuck with Jenkins, or maybe you want to change to it. It doesn't really matter, because it doesn't, and it doesn't quite matter. You or the other, you will still get to the result if all of your processes are fit.
So I had a similar first reaction to, I actually came to a DevOps City meetup and eventually this conference, my gosh, like 5 years ago. And I was sitting in Austin taking notes, and I was like, people have it figured out. This is conceptually, this makes so, why are we not doing this?
Right.
And I'm a sysadmin, I'm technology. My knee jerk is to fix a problem and then worry about the people later. So this is kind of its head of the right tool for the right job. We'll fix our process. We'll have it. We didn't have the right people. Right. Trying to fix it from reverse order just out. It's kind of why I bounced around from job, because I couldn't find a cult embraced fit. Right. I love experimenting new things, and when something breaks, hours debugging, Stack Exchange, and that's how it was always done. But there's many different cultures out there that embrace this concept of people over processes, kind of puts things in the right order.
Yeah, it's I like saying that failure, because the fact is that if you can fail safely, learn how to fail quickly, and it's flip side of the move fast things mentality that from the I call them cowboy devs mentality, which I know doing any kind of ops work at scale and think about all of the systems. It's that you just cringe. Someone just cobbled something and they're going to run product. Everyone cringes. Not the way to move fast. But really understanding that to scale, we have to be able to fail. You have to be able to do things and find out how it didn't work. Can learn something, do something with what you learn, innovate, and I'm putting that air quotes that no one can see. Casting is a visual medium.
I can confirm quotes.
Yeah. Okay.
We're good.
That's a long-running podcast. It's a visual medium. The idea behind doing all of this, it doesn't really matter. You're coming from background, all the hardware yourself, everything, to a cloud that you're just have everything abstracted away on, have a hybrid system somewhere in between. It's all the same picture, and it's all about being able to say that is safe, and then you can try something new, and there's safety involved in that, and the communication that comes with it. So to me, that's really is now. DevOps is an idea, evolves, and originally it was the idea of just together, but it was really more about operations work being done. It wasn't about the dev team. It was about the idea is working together from the very beginning. You kind of look at that and go, all of that. Yes, teams involved. You forgot product management, forgot project, you forgot sales, marketing, you forgot security. There's Ethan Harvey, one of like the original in my head. It's on the Dora project, which is research and assessment, though he wants this Dora, but not Dora the Explorer.
Right.
Have a little bit of fun.
I'm sure a few listeners had a minor stroke.
Something like that. But he's talk that was, let me see if I get this right. DevSec Mark Q EnterSec Op.
That sounds about right.
It was shoving all of, and he used to do that talk, and I used to give him. So again, I always says when we can idea and we portmanteau, someone was trying to do marketing quick, missed some things of trying to market. So anyway,
those
DevOps.
marketing people.
Marketing people.
I like to think of decent things. So back on topic, because I can derail it quick.
That's okay.
I can remember after that first DevOps, going back to work, having all the making the we've got to change everything.
Yep.
Everything we've point is wrong. Just assume we need to change all these things. Not the thing here from the newest guy.
No. I'd actually argue problem.
A little bit.
Learning how to give feedback and change without like maybe someone did something wrong.
Said, you kind of get where I'm going then. Ask, how does, especially if you're an individual contributor,
Right.
especially ops role, development seems more open to this kind of thing. They're in different terms. I think ops is typically more adopting something like this, although when I said dev.
So it depends on the history of the development team and what language. I'll be honest, this is not anything against out there, just to be. I found Java teams don't like to because they're working with this monolithic legacy that no one quite knows. They just know you can't delete line 49, otherwise the heart.
Very fair.
So they get a little you trying to change what they're doing. But so change in an organization, especially if you are able to contribute. I'd say again, the people over process over tools is going to be you have who the people are that you need to convince to find out what drives them business wise, find out what drives them, and think you can explain your idea. Will understand. Sometimes metrics, sometimes that's, hey, we've got this smaller side that my team is working on. Can we process that? It's clear that you understand production has to stay up, have to stay solid, and you need to produce a solution. Don't change that stability. I mean, often driven by bonuses, ties they have, whether you can meet the things along that line. And because you often end up in this situation where if it was anything new, ever tried to change something because it could money goes down their pocket.
Right.
Say that if you've ever worked with sales people, I know people are going to be like, people who work in sales, and so you have to learn how to talk in terms of what it is.
Right.
So it was this conversation where, and this is how it in line. I want to process the team needs to do. This is how it's going to fix the problem that we have. In terms of there's an uptime that maybe holiday season. None of us know why. Of course, it's because you've got this on and this,
Right.
that, the other. And here's my proposal. Do a chaos. We're going to do a chaos engineering where we release a program into ours and it's going to run down. We're going to see how fast everything comes up. Doing that might seem terrifying, measuring their nines and measuring their uptime, trying to figure out how to stay resilient. But if you were to do it in the year, then you guessed when your executives are starting to, how do we don't have that issue like last, where we lost $1 million sales because our went for 10 minutes. You can come and say, well, this experiment is that we need this much and we need to provisioning now for this need. And they'll go, oh, what you're telling me is that gave us $1 million. Because that's what they're thinking. And you might have to say, well, promising something else. Then you have to deliver it. But chaos experiment, you've already proved. So that's kind of the case of where you try to, does this not work? How do I that I talk to people in the metrics thing too?
Right.
And I know this isn't what techies have to go and they have to talk, wine and dine. Wine and dine. You don't have to take, or dine. The idea is to have a conversation with them. Get to, even if you're kind of like in feed and seeing what they're posting, sometimes that helps more than anything else. But you're calling other people to help you. How do I have this conversation with me and influence this idea, new process? The problem in DevOps. That's one of the things. If you can show that there's a grassroots build to really get down in an organization, any kind of transformation. You have board. We've all had that random tweet. Come and tell us how did they disappear in 6 months?
Right.
We've had that. And then the next season, something else. Okay, what if I did? And just wait for the next turnover and the next turnover. It's all about understanding people problem. Fix the people problem, then change is there. The idea of change is root. Then it's a lot easier to start thinking about the parts you need to make. Just you need to make things like that. So that's my advice. Figuring out as an individual can do. Change the topic.
Appreciate your time today, Laura, and it's getting to know you the last few days. It's amazing how many of us have a sense of humor. And
enough. You've seen it. You've taken down production, and you
Fair.
Can't count it anymore. Times delete on the database by
I never
database and
I deleted a LUN that a legacy database before because I asked and oh yeah, no one uses it. Great, I can reclaim like 3 terabytes when they're already.
Never trust when someone tells it anymore, because then it starts, and then you're like, oh no, I fixed this. We didn't have backups. Were you serious? Yes.
Oh,
that happened
far too often. So it's to get into DevOps, and once to get buzzwords past all the around it again. For those of you wondering why I'm laughing, marketing person, but how would you start it?
I say probably the best if you have a local community, go get involved in it. I'm passionate supporter. Every meetup that we have in the area, I think the best ways to get into an idea, your toes, experience it, and meetups are more than happy to have. They love meeting new people when there's really going to be welcoming. They succeed. If you're interested in getting into any DevOps, SRE, planning, help us all, AI ops, you'll be able to find a local meetup in your. If you can't find one, could start one and see if it's nearby.
There you go.
There's a little bit of you can starting a meetup and not thing and just going, who wants to come in with me? I know as a coffee ops where just show up at this coffee shop and talk about it. Why
I think
not?
there's one in Kansas City as well.
Yes, work great if you're just trying to get involved. The thing is that you might not see it in your current company. You probably already have it or what company it is. Could always go to a meetup and find somebody company to talk to. Internally, depending your chat system is at your company, whether it's Slack with all the time teams, you might there. The thing, community of practice, which is a group of people with a domain of knowledge that with each other. So you might company, but you'll always find it up. And if you don't see a local meetup in your city, start one. Who you're going to find.
Zoom out. If you do need to start your own meetup, the community is
Oh, yeah.
incredibly here from the Austins for the Kansas City show. Some of the Kansas City folk would go out to Chicago. So
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's a knit community. Of course, like most good, I have my conference family. People at events really have to travel halfway across the country to stay live in my.
Yep.
But
I mean, that's
right.
JJ is sitting right over here. Thing, DevOpsDays.org. You will find these near you. Promise. They are all over the world.
They are. And one other add to that is if you want to look at what DevOps is designed to, you have a book called The Phoenix Project. This was my introduction to the DevOps community, and I could relate to so many of the character narrative fictitious companies that I don't all that fictitious. In fact, pretty sure some of that was written businesses I've worked for.
Yeah, suspicion about who this actually was. They really well though. Well, whoever.
Well, Laura, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Have to have you again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Like I said, Laura is one of the most energetic, passionate people that I've ever met. And as someone who, excuse me, and as someone who gets really excited about people and technology and going to events, I was just in awe of Laura's energy and her insights into things like DevOps and people. So I hope you found this episode interesting. You can catch all of Laura's links in the episode guide or in the show notes below. Definitely reach out, connect with her. She's very personable. At least that's what she told me to tell you all. I'm of course kidding. Laura, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciated the chance to sit down with you a few weeks ago and chat. Hope to have you on the show again soon. Anyway, next week we have just an amazing conversation about AI, about IBM and Red Hat's partnership on a project called Instruct Lab. So if you're curious what AI is, where it's going, how it's going to impact the industry and our world at large, do not miss our next episode. Episode 6, we'll be talking to JJ from IBM about AI, Instruct Lab, and a whole host of other topics. So I'm really excited about that episode. Please like and subscribe, share with a friend. The show's still growing. So I'd really appreciate the ability to reach your network as well. Anywhere you can give me a share, I'd really appreciate it. Also, in the show notes is a link to our Discord. We've got a growing group of technologists that just kind of hang out, talk about home labs, talk about gaming. Very laid back, very relaxed culture. So I really appreciate all of you and the work you're doing to help me grow the show. Until then, this has been the IT Guy Show, episode 5. I've been your host, Eric the IT Guy Hendricks. And on behalf of Laura Santamaria, my guest this time, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thank you.